kneeling down with a superhero aura. Our boy is already out here beefing with the literal worst psycho on Earth when the story opens, panting hard while this smug villain laughs and says he knew it. He says our MC is different from all those worthless clowns who tried and failed before. Our guy tells him to shut up. Dead serious, he tells our bro to just kill him, because in his mind the MC is the only one actually fit to take his life anyway. But our boy refuses. He says he won't be the one killing him. Because he promised his team he'd put this bastard on the electric chair so justice could be served properly. Even now, he admits he still regrets that choice, thinking he should just killed him back then. News broadcasts flip on, calling this guy the worst villain in history, the one who made the whole world tremble in fear. The announcer says he's been sentenced to death, a suppression device slapped on him, and he's locked away on the 5th basement floor of prison, which is basically Hell's VIP section for vicious villains. The report also mentions that several heroes who fought alongside our boy in that battle died in the process. And there's a joint funeral being held for the fallen heroes of equality. The government gets on TV expressing sincere gratitude for their selfless service, which feels nice on paper but does absolutely nothing for the bodies before turns the TV off. In the middle of this, a man tells our MC, who's still recovering, that he should be in bed instead of watching TV. This is our boy's brother, a corrections officer at prison. Our MC narrates that this is his brother, a straight-laced officer working inside the same prison where they dumped the villain he captured. But even with all that, our boy can't let it go. He mutters that he should killed that villain himself. Just then his brother chimes in, saying that our bro promised his teammate. His memory flashes back to his teammates telling him heroes are supposed to save people, not kill them. They said even the worst villains are still people and have the right to stand trial. Our bro states, yeah, that shit is nice and all, but what if we get killed? I won't be able to get squished by the 12 kg juicy thighs. One teammate especially made him promise not to kill anyone no matter what happens, even if things go sideways. Cutting back to the present, another voice agreed, saying sentences should only be handed down by the law, not by heroes in the field. Our MC points out that while heroes don't kill, it's corrections officers like his brother who actually have to carry out those sentences. His brother then reveals something confidential. The villain is scheduled to be executed next week, and he'll be there as part of the team overseeing it. He tells our boy he did his job as a hero, and now the rest should be left to the prison staff. He suggests they go say farewell to the MC's fallen teammates. At the funeral, wreaths and messages line the hall, thank yous for the joy the heroes brought, curses thrown at the villain for terrorizing the world, and calls for death to heinous criminals. We see the two bowing their heads and paying respect to the fallen heroes. Then the manhwa hits the breaking point, on the day of the villain's execution. Our boy's brother was killed. In tears, our bro is questioning why this is happening, maybe it's a dream. The criminal who was supposed to be punished by law survived, while the corrections officer, his brother, ended up dead. Sitting down in grief at his brother's funeral, someone calls out to our bro. Standing there is a baddie with the type of dominant aura that'll make you bark like a dog. She comments that it's been a while since they meet. The warden, a woman who clearly knows him, greets our MC by name and asks if he has a minute. She hands him a tablet, and our bro questions what this is. She hands him something and tells him it's the record of what happened during the villain's execution. Metal rattles in the flashback as he watches. We see the criminal getting transported to his death. Just then the boy-looking girl calls out to the MC's brother. The man points out that he looks like the MC and wonders if he is his brother or some sort. He then continues saying that the guy doesn't have any superpowers like our boy and wonders if that's why he became an officer. He asks the man who is older, him or the MC. The weirdo then asks how does he feel when he kills people. For someone on their way to death, he sure is talkative. He revealed with a confident smile that he was both a prison guard and an executioner, leaving the surprised character to realize the true extent of his provocative smugness. The guy says he bets the man has killed people just like him and asks how it feels. This guy says that he feels like it's too easy. Man, does killing someone work 24/7 in his head? The man questions why he feels like it's too easy. He smirked playfully as he explained that a gentle touch of his finger could make someone pop like soap bubbles. He expressed his inner turmoil, revealing that he struggled with horrible feelings of guilt even when he had to execute scumbags like the enemy, despite only pressing a button. He comments that doing so has given him PTSD and nightmares. We see a man sitting in the chair, as he yells that the officer was a murderer just like them. The man, standing in the dark and visibly haunted, revealed that the prisoners he had executed torment him in his dreams. Despite his haunted dreams, he responded with a playful tone that someone still had to do the work, implying a sense of acceptance and confidence. Walking forward, he stated that he was just doing his job as an officer. Strapped up, the man commands that before they begin the execution of the villain. He asks if he has any last words, ignores the question and instead asks which one of them is older, our MC or his brother. Ignoring the taunt, they move on and start the countdown, 3, 2, 1. Returning to the present, the video ends abruptly. And just look at our boy's face, absolutely shocked at what he just watched. The woman stated right at the moment they were about to kill him, all the power in prison cuts out with a nasty hiss. People yell, asking if it's a blackout and what's happening to the prisoner. The woman reveals it wasn't just random, it was an unidentified EMP strike that killed the power. In the dark, the kid calmly says he knew it and mutters that only our boy can kill him. Officers shout for everyone to get down as chaos erupts. A huge explosion causes every officer to recoil from the force. The prisoner breaks his suppression device, regaining his full power. They scramble to report over comms that the prisoner broke the device, trying to call for backup before the signal cuts off. But the man is just standing there with one of those smiles you give someone before you brutally murder them. Then the guy's whole head starts swelling like a balloon. And with a joyful smile like he just got the best news of his life, he states that's a pop. And sure enough, we see the aftermath, bodies, swelling flesh, a wet bulge. The boy stands over our MC's brother and says he has a theory. He thinks the brother is the older on and asks if his is right. He roars and charges at the boy, hoping to land and strike. But he goes out like every other guard, as he instantly gets his arm blown off. And our MC's brother screams as he's clutching his arm. The boy then smugly says he got it right, laughing while lives are being ended around him. In the present, the man clenches his fists, repeating that people like him deserve to be punished by law, not allowed to slip through. He screams that justice must be served and calls the boy a monster. Splatter, the MC's brother, is dead just like that. Man, that was anticlimactic, bro, this villain is too op. And just look at this, the 6-foot man got turned into a bowling ball, as his body splats on the floor. We cut back to the crazy kid, who says oh well, that he'd better ask our bro directly if he was right about the older brother. The scene shifts back to the present as the warden brings the real bombshell that EMP strike knocked out suppression devices for every prisoner on every floor. The good news is they managed to stop a full-blown prison break. The bad news is a lot of officers are now trapped inside with the prisoners. The MC asks who launched the EMP, but the answer is they still don't know. The warden then turns to our MC and apologizes for asking this at his brother's funeral. She asks if he can suppress the riot at prison. He answers of course he'll do it, but under one condition. He remembers what his teammates told him, that heroes are supposed to save people and not kill. He remembers that his brother as a corrections officer. Just then we see the door to freedom opening. Believed criminals should only be sentenced by the law. Now the door slams open and prisoners cheer that the door is finally unlocked, yelling for everyone to get the hell out. Then something impossible hits, a shockwave, a noise. That makes them all freeze and ask what the hell that was. Our boy steps into view, casually greeting them and saying, "Nice to meet you, scumbags." He walks into the prison wearing an officer's uniform and introduces himself as their new corrections officer. The prisoners stare, confused why a famous hero is dressed like a prison guard. One thug mutters back, "Nice to meet you too, jerk," trying to act tough. Our MC doesn't bother arguing. The inmates just tells him to die and goes in hard. And that fight doesn't last for even a second as he gets a hole punched through him, like that one guy from Demon Slayer. Sorry guys, I shouldn't have went there. With that one punch, over 50 inmates are called, as we see their mutilated bodies lying on the ground, leaving the remaining ones shocked. Some prisoners freak out, asking what the hell is going on. Then our boy grabs a mic, taps it, and does a little hello mic testing like he's about to host a concert of violence. He tells the entire prison to listen up and calls them pigs, stating that under orders from the government, everyone from the ground floor through all the basement levels, down to the 5th basement floor, will be executed immediately. The prisoners lose it, asking what he means by execution. They scream that he's a son of a bitch and demand how he can say he's going to kill them. Our boy fires back that they took countless lives themselves, so why are they so upset at the idea of being killed now? They start whining that they didn't kill that many people. This guy murdered 12 people. This on says that they can count their victims on their fingers, like that makes it better. Also, he dismembered 7 people. One yells that he killed less than 5, as if there's a moral discount for staying under double digits. And man, this guy's crimes are crazy, don't even want to say them. They shout that he has no right to decide whether they live or die and scream about their rights and lawyers. This guy, the worst of the bunch, states that it's getting rowdy in here. He whispers to himself that while the hero is distracted, He should use this chance to break out, as he's gearing up to move. When a sudden blow smashes him, shutting that plan down instantly. Our MC says he'll give them a choice. Option 1, put their suppression devices back on, return to their cells, and wait quietly for their execution. Or Option 2, die at his hands right now. The prisoner scoffs, saying the latter is obviously the better choice if they're going to die anyway. They argue they might as well put up a fight before they go, saying his negotiation terms don't make sense. He calmly answers that this isn't a negotiation at all, this is the last bit of mercy he's offering them. Then one of the more cunning inmates tries to rally them, saying everyone should listen. As he grabs their attention with his vocal ability, he points out that hero or not, there's only one of our MC and they've got numbers on their side. He says he's killed a second-tier hero before using teamwork. The others gasp and ask if that's true. Realizing what this means, they all start to smile sinisterly. He tells them not to be intimidated by our MC's reputation and to rush him together, crush him, and claim their freedom. Our boy looks at him and says, "Oh, so you must be the scumbag the warden warned him about." She notes that prisoners in are grouped by threat level, and this guy is clearly in the top trash tier. The prison is literally stacked like a hell tower. The ground floor alone is holding over 300 serial killers who all murdered multiple people. The first basement is where they stash more than 100 freaks who put entire towns in danger. And the second basement has 30-plus monsters who can threaten whole cities by themselves. The third basement is for 10 people who made entire nations vulnerable. And the fourth basement is for 5 psychos dangerous enough to put an entire continent at risk. All the way at the bottom, the fifth basement floor, is where they keep the crazy boy and 2 other endgame bosses who nearly wrecked the entire world. The warden says, yeah, that's a lot, but points out you only ever have to fight a fraction of them yourself. She says this because the prisoners are not exactly besties with each other. We see this evil duo using powers and telling the prisoners to confess their sins, while also in prison. In the deepest pit of hell, we see a woman sitting down while the crazy boy approaches her. He comments that he didn't expect someone else to be down there with him. Then with a wicked smile, he says he can kill some time until the MC shows up. On the ground floor though, it's a different kind of problem because all those psychos are united under one guy. This ringleader has a superpower that lets him shout and buff everyone around him, basically turning the whole floor into a raid party. Our boy lists his crime. This clown attacked a hospital with 30 other criminals to kill 7 civilians and a second-tier hero. Then he corrects our boy, saying the number 10. Because that hero lady was pregnant with twins at the time, get a load of this douche. Just then he calls the warden for something. He calls the warden and says he might have to go a little crazy, asking how sturdy the prison is. She tells him not to worry, that the place won't collapse no matter what he does, and guarantees it. So our boy smiles and says good, then he won't have to hold back. The man calls him a bluffer for whatever reason. The man claims he barely did anything in the hero-team equality. He accuses our boy of probably sacrificing his teammates to capture that crazy kid and just grabbing the last hit. He screams that they'll send our MC to join his dead teammates. The man uses his buff ability to strengthen everyone, including him. The prisoners start feeling that rush and go crazy, yelling that they feel overwhelming strength. The man hypes the prisoners up to rush our boy, sending everyone to their doom. Then everything goes sideways with one swift kick from our bro. He obliterates every single prisoner, leaving this guy shocked. People start yelling that this can't be real, as we see over a dozen of dead bodies. But our guy isn't done yet, as he charges up yet another powerful attack. He stomps, unleashing an overwhelming attack, destroying everything in his path. I mean, the attack was so powerful it shook the entire prison. Even this guy looks terrified just from the sound alone. The guy screams like a little girl. He shouts, wanting to know what's going on. But our boy answers his question with another attack coming down on him. I mean, just look at our guy, he's about to slaughter every single person in one go. The man panics, demanding they stop him, screaming to just stop him already. But it's too late, our boy finishes his work slicing everything in his path. We then see this guy looking like Gojo as he shouts, "No, I don't want to die." He refuses to accept the fact this is how he went out, saying this can't be. We then see the aftermath, the entire floor and walls stained with the blood of the prisoners. He says that every prisoner on the ground floor has been executed. He calmly reports that he's heading to the solitary confinement cell next. We then see a mountain of prisoner corpses, the aftermath of our boy. Our bro's wondering how many bodies he just dropped, dozens, hundreds. Just then we see our guy standing before 2 guys as our boy repeats his offer. Either put the suppression devices back on or die right now. One prisoner screams, "Screw you," and tries to rush him. As the guy gets his head blown off with one kick, our MC remembers the warden said there were about 300 prisoners on the ground floor. Another criminal folds almost instantly and says fine, he'll put his device back on. The MC tells him to come and take it. The guy creeps up, saying yes of course. The guy asks our boy to please hand it over, and then tries to fake him out, suddenly lunging and yelling not, as his power flares. A massive explosion goes off as the inmate says what kind of moron would put their device back on. But our boy doesn't even flinch at the betrayal like he expected this level of stupid. Meanwhile, he remembers a line from another villain his teammate once captured. That woman said people without physical superpowers because they can only attack from a distance and will never know the ecstasy of crushing someone with their bare hands. Our boy crushes this dude's head and just thinks, is this supposed to feel ecstatic? To him, it feels no more thrilling than smashing an egg in his fist. After dealing with those pebbles in his way, he starts walking to the solitary confinement room. Suddenly we see our boy standing in the doorway like my sleep paralysis demon at night. Someone inside comments they were wondering what the noise was about, and realizes it was our bro. A familiar voice says, how long has it been? 3 years I think. And calls out, long time no see. This is Chuck, a cannibal and corpse desecrator locked alone for a reason. Chuck asks if our boy remembers him and notes that he's found himself a new job but doesn't look too well. But our boy doesn't bother with small talk and just tells him to choose, put the suppression device back on or die. Chuck says he knew they'd meet again someday and shows him that weird smile you give when you're up to no good. We cut back to when this guy was captured. We then see our boy, the former hero, as something catches his eye. And guys, this villain has made a pot roast, but with humans instead of animals. Just then the guy blurts out and asks if it looks tasty. He's got freshly killed, cooked human meat laid out, saying it looks tasty and will be scrumptious. Our boy decides that's it, there's no saving this freak, and thinks he'll have to kill him. Just then from the back, he hears echoes of someone screaming his name. This woman stops our boy by saying no, begging him not to go this far. The man says he remembers how unhappy our bro looked back when his team insisted on capturing him instead of killing him. Our MC tells the man that if he doesn't answer his question, he'll assume he is choosing death right now. He asks if our guy knows why he killed people, but he's gonna have to hold that thought for the rest of his life, because our boy couldn't care less as he slices this guy's head clean off. But then somehow the guy is still answering, saying that he did it so people would remember him. He says that when he kills someone, he becomes the most memorable person in their entire life. His superpower lets him engrave his image into their eyes, so they'll never forget him, not even in death. As proof, he claims he remembers everyone he's ever killed and offers to start listing them out one by one. He starts to show off, activating his power, starting to talk about some girl he killed. Before he can finish, our boy moves. A sharp slice to his arm and a blast shut him up. Our boy notes that this is exactly why the guy is in solitary. He was aiming for that loud, talkative mouth but missed. He remarks that the guy's power didn't give him enough time to dodge. The guy laughs weakly and says before dying he has one question. Does the MC remember all the people he killed on his way here today? Our boy answers no, that scumbags like them aren't worth remembering at all. Just then the guy summons copies of his dead teammates, shocking our boy. Not cool, man, that's hitting below the belt. Other voices, memories of his team, call out his name in horror, but he brushes them off. The man states that maybe he'll remember his dead teammates. Illusions of his past teammates appear around him, accusing him, but he slices through them. With a demonic stare, he questions if those are all the tricks the man has up his sleeve. The guy was shocked, saying that he couldn't believe our boy sliced through his teammates without wasting a second. Slicing him in half, he says that those are all just hallucinations anyways. He says he's not a hero anymore anyway, he's a corrections officer now. The guy lingering voice argues back, saying he's not a guard at all. The man calls him nothing but a monster, saying that he was no different from the crazy kid locked downstairs. Somewhere else in the prison, we see that same crazy kid saying, come on. He comments that this girl won't even fight back against him. Man is always looking for a fight, bro, take a chill pill and sit down somewhere. He wonders how long it'll take for our boy to get down to them. Guys, I don't know if it's me, but maybe this guy has a crush on our boy. Just then he decides that maybe he should head up instead. Outside, we see a group of people, obviously not the good kind, standing outside of the prison. One of the members asks a woman when she wants them to intervene. She smiles and says he showed up. We see the person she is referring to is none other than our bro. And with a look of pure ecstasy, she exclaims that our boy is going to be her husband. I feel bad for our boy, he's a former hero, he wouldn't want a criminal, so I'll take his spot instead. This leaves the group shocked and I wonder why. Doubling down, she states again that the MC was gonna be her husband, as someone calls out to her. This guy, reminding her she said she wanted that crazy kid on the 5th floor as her husband. They point out they even fired the EMP strike just to save that crazy kid for her. They argue that he's a hero and thus an obstacle to the progress of mankind, but she corrects them, he was a hero. Now in her eyes, he doesn't seem like one anymore. So she decides she'll have to choose, older psycho or younger psycho. They remind her polygamy is illegal and she can't have both, especially since those two absolutely do not get along. She giggles and says fine, then the one who survives will be the man she chooses. Oh man, since this manhwa is about our boy, I think we all know who's gonna survive. She wonders which of them will make it out alive and treats the whole bloodbath like a dating show. Back in the control area, the warden praises our boy, saying he wasted no time wiping the ground floor. She warns him that from the first basement down, the prisoners get exponentially stronger and suggests he rest. He refuses and says he'll head down right away, asking her to open the door. And she agreed to open the door for our boy. She agrees but asks one favor before he goes. She says she's still getting faint signals from surviving corrections officers on the lower floors. She begs him to help them so they can safely return to their families. Guys, is that a future I see? He asks if she knows how many are alive on each level. She says no. Everything below the first basement has had its comms smashed to pieces. Except for one place, the 5th basement floor, where signals are still oddly clear. Just then, we see an officer crawling and screaming for someone to help. But his pleading doesn't last long as his head starts swelling before bursting like a balloon. It feels like someone down there wants them to see exactly what's happening. Just then our boy says he'll get going. The staff report they're ready and authorize access to the first basement floor. Warning him again to be careful, she tries to explain that the prisoners down there are much stronger than the ones he just slaughtered on the ground floor. But before she can finish, something catches our boy's attention. Someone down below laughs and sucker punches our boy the moment the door opens. They hammer him with blasts, bombs, and attacks, bragging that sucker punches always win and they knew he was coming. The warden panics, calling his name. A villain tells her not to worry about the MC because she has her own problems now. Grabbing her by the throat, the inmate snickers about how he had just caught the warden. He drags her out, sneering that he finally caught the warden and always wanted to wipe that smug look off her face. He calls the boys over, saying they've got the warden and everyone can take turns, clearly implying something awful. But those boys he's referring to won't be having any fun, seeing as they are now dead. The guy is shocked, asking what just happened. Before he could even get to thinking, our bro's already up in the air charging his attack. He crushes the guy in one hit, clearly showing off in front of the warden, trying to get some of those warden cheeks. Our boy calmly tells the warden not to stand near the door when the next floor opens. Because it's not safe. The warden, stammering over her words and with a flushed face, said, "Yes, Daddy, I understand, it won't happen again." As he begins walking away, she calls out to our boy. She warns the MC that the villain his teammate captured is in isolation on the first basement floor. Walking away, our guy says he already knows. Down in that isolation wing, prisoners talk about hearing loud noises. One thinks maybe the others broke out. Just then, a woman calls them idiots, and man, what would I do to be locked up with those? She says of course they didn't and points out none of them could make a roar like that. She says she told them to stay put, but they wouldn't listen. This woman herself is a former hero who murdered 28 other heroes. She says this just proves why they ended up as villains. They don't think with their heads. One thug snaps and tells her she has a death wish, calling her a bitch. She laughs and asks if he really thinks he can kill her. She points out that they're all here for killing civilians, not supers. She asks if any of them have killed someone with powers or even fought one. Then she answers for them, of course not, because if they had, they wouldn't be locked up here like this. Just then the man says he'll kill one right now, promising to take down a powered target. But his dream is short-lived as he gets sliced in half with one shot. Man, why is everyone in this manhwa so strong? She then mocks the man, asking who's killing whom now and calling him arrogant. The woman calmly says she captured countless villains as a hero and learned how to fight people with superpowers. Then she used that experience to kill a bunch of heroes as well. She tells them to join forces with her. She says she'll teach them how to hunt someone with powers. Man, this woman is gonna be bad news. Because she knows our MC's abilities.